Hey y'all, welcome to Crissy O's Clucky Chronicles. So it's me, it's Crissy O, and I'm back with another episode just to help you keep your flock happy and healthy. So today I want to dive into the world of chicken feed. I want to talk about commercial, organic, free-ranging, foraging, and everything in between just to help y'all out, okay? Because feeding your chickens can feel completely overwhelming. Let's just get that right straight off the bat. But with so many options that you have out there, I don't want you to worry or feel guilted into anything, okay? I just want to break down the differences, share a bit of history, and help you figure out what works best for you, your homestead, your farm, your flocks, whatever works best for you, okay? Doesn't matter. I don't care if you're a homesteader, farmer, backyard chicken enthusiast. I just want to help you guys be able to figure out what it is you want to do and what's going to be best for you, because everybody's got an opinion and everybody has something that they're trying to sell, or they have something that they want to try to sway you one way or the other. I don't try to do that. You guys know that. I don't try to do this on this channel. I only want to give you information and provide stuff to you so that you can do with it what you will, because it is difficult and it can be hard. But anyway, if you hear any snoring in the background, that's from my wonderful European boxer, Vader. You guys have seen him on my channel. He has a love-hate relationship with the roosters, and he also has a love-hate relationship with Tracy, our male Peking duck. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this. Let's talk about why feed choice matters. We all know that chickens need a balanced diet just to thrive. So you got to think in terms of think proteins, carbs, vitamins, and minerals. Now, the feed you choose impacts their egg production, their feather health, and overall happiness. But y'all, here's the thing. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. I don't care what anybody tells you. It's not like that. Because if you have a small backyard flock, they might do great with a mix of commercial pellets and kitchen scraps. But if you have a larger homestead, you might lean towards organic grains or free-range foraging. It's really up to you and your flock. Your choice depends on your goals, your budget, and your setup. That's what it boils down to. And that was probably one of the hardest things for me to get through my noggin when we all started this, because you get so completely bombarded with so many people's opinions, so many things that are happening and going on in every realm of social media. So it's your choice. Again, it depends on your goals, your budget, your flock, and your setup. Nobody else's opinion matters right now but yours. That's why I'm talking to you. Now, I want to give you an example. If you're aiming for organic eggs, you might want to prioritize natural feeds. If you're managing a big flock, commercial feed might be, more of a time saver for you, but it'll also ensure consistency. But here's the key. The key is to understand your options and make your own informed decision that fits your lifestyle and your flock's needs for your chickens, okay? So let's just dive a little bit in and explore the options and just look at how chicken feed has really evolved over history and time. So grin and bear with me. You might find some of this information a little bit helpful.
Yeah.
Now, feeding chickens, it won't always about grabbing a bag of pellets from the store, because back in the 1800s, farmers back then, they relied heavily, literally, on what was available. They had things like grains, like corn, wheat, or oats, plus kitchen scraps and whatever the chickens could forage. So free ranging was the norm back then because hens were scratching for bugs, seeds, and greens. Just understand that's where we're coming from here. Now, it was a natural diet and it worked well for small flocks, but it wasn't always consistent, especially in winter or for larger farms back in the 1800s.
What?
Now, moving forward, by the early 20th century, as poultry farming, it just grew, so did the need for reliable feed. So now we enter into what we know as the commercial feeds in the 1920s and the 1930s. Now, these were game changers, and they were all formulated to provide balanced nutrition with grains, protein sources like fish meal, and different types of added vitamins. But by the end of the 1950s, companies like Purina were producing pelleted feeds, and it made it easier for farmers to scale up egg and meat production. So commercial feeds, they were designed for efficiency while also ensuring that chickens grew faster and laid more eggs. And it was also critical, though, at this particular time because you're dealing with post-war food demands. So you've got two things historically going on. In all of this being said, there was a trade-off because you've got some commercial feeds that started including like synthetic additives, antibiotics, or cheaper fillers to cut costs. It sparked a lot of concerns about animal health and egg quality, especially as like the organic and sustainable farming gained traction in the late 20th century. So then we're moving forward. So by the 2000s, homesteaders and backyard enthusiasts began returning to more natural organic feeds or free ranging. They wanted to mimic those old school methods, but use a modern twist like using certified organic grains or supplemental herbs for health. Now, in today's time, the pendulum's kind of swinging back and forth a little bit. So we've got data from the USDA, which you can go look up yourself. But the data that I was looking at from the USDA, it shows organic poultry farming, it literally grew by 20% from 2016 to 2021. And it's reflecting a demand for natural and more sustainable practices. But you still have commercial feeds that are still popular, with over 80% of U.S. poultry operations using them just for consistency and affordability. Now, both approaches have their place, and that's what I want to unpack for y'all a little bit coming up next. So let's talk about the next thing. So now I want to talk about commercial feeds versus organic natural feeds. Okay, everybody talks about this. Everybody's got something better. They've got a this or a that, and they're trying to tell you what you should do instead of like, hey, you can do this if you want to. Make your own decisions. That's where I try to come in. I'm not going to sway you either way. I can show you what I do, and I can tell you when you ask a question, hey, this is what I do, but you do you, boo. I've always said that. Do what you want to do. Make your own informed decisions. So I want to break down the main feed types. So we know we've got commercial feeds. That's first up. And these are typically pellets or crumbles or mash, and it's formulated to meet chickens' nutritional needs. So a lot of these commercial feeds, they often include grains like corn or soy, different protein sources like fish meal or soybean meal, and any type of added vitamins or minerals. And you can find that on the bag. Now, you have many different brands, and they offer specialized options. We all know what we're talking about here. It's like layer feed for egg production, or start and grow, or starter feed for chicks. There's an upside, maybe, yeah. So it's convenience and consistency. That's up to you if you decide it's convenient or consistent. Your flock is getting a balanced diet. It's easy to store and serve. So then maybe there's a downside. That's up to you to decide. Some feeds will use synthetic additives or non-organic ingredients, which it might not align with your goals if you're aiming for solely nothing but organic eggs or organic meat. That's completely up to you. Completely up to you to decide your own opinion, what you want to do dealing with commercial feeds. Now we're going to move to organic and natural feeds. Now, the organic and natural feeds are made with certified organic grains. There's no synthetic additives, and sometimes it includes extras like flaxseed for omega-3 rich eggs or herbs for immune support. Now, they can be great for homesteaders who are prioritizing sustainability or those who are selling organic products. Then we have free ranging, because this all fits in here too together. Okay, it all fits in. So when you let your chickens forage for bugs, grass, and seeds, it can also supplement their diet naturally. We all know this. And there's different studies that are out there, but there's one study in particular I looked at from the Journal of Applied Poultry Research in 2018. It shows that free-range chickens often have stronger immune systems and better feather quality due to their diverse diet. You can take that any way you want to. Now, you got organic feeds and free ranges. They do have their challenges, just like commercial feeds. Just here to inform. So, organic feed, we all know it's pricier. Sometimes it's 30 to 50% more pricier than commercial options. So, you have that to contend with. Then you have free ranging. It requires space, a lot of it. You have to deal with predator protection, which is another layer of cost. And it can be inconsistent in the winter, or if you have an urban setting where you can't rotate your flock, because they eat everything up. If this like my flock, they're going to eat everything down to the dirt, roots and all, and then you have nothing but a desert. And you might also have to still supplement them with grains or whatever commercial feed to ensure that they get the proper nutrition that they need. So the question is, how do you choose? Well, it's just about weighing trade-offs. So you got to think in terms of, you got commercial feeds are budget friendly and reliable, but they might not align with your organic goals or whatever goals and budget that you have for your flock. And then you have organic or free range options. They feel more natural, but they also require more effort and more cost. And you got a lot of other things to contend with. You got your flock size, your land, and your values. They all are playing this role, and it's all cyclical, because you still have to weigh your options out. What's going to work best for you, best for your budget, best for your flock. What do you want to get out of what you're doing?
Ooh.
Now we got to make it personal, okay? And I don't mean in a rude way. I'm just got to make it personal for you. So here is the absolute heart of it and everything that I try to tell you guys on Crissy O's Clucky Chronicles YouTube channel and on my blogs on CrissyOShow.com. Your feed is your choice. It's your decision. Number one, nobody knows your flock or setup better than you, because you did it. I don't know it, and I even say that in my vlogs. I say, I don't know your floofs. You don't know my floofs. Best to be kind and understand what you have. I mean, maybe you're a backyard enthusiast with like just 5 hens and you love tossing them kitchen scraps while they free range. Wonderful. I think it's fabulous. Or maybe, you might be a homesteader with like 50 chickens and you need the predictability of like commercial pellets. Both are valid. Both are fine. Don't let anybody shame you into one way or another. Remember, everybody has an opinion. Everybody has goals. Everybody has their budget, their flock size. It all is valid. No meanness, no judging here. Everybody has valid priorities. And you also have to think about your priorities. You got to think about, number one, are you focused on cost, sustainability, number two, or, egg quality? Space and time are also big factors you got to think about. If you're in a small yard, think about this. If you're in a small yard, free ranging, it's going to be a little tough. So a high quality commercial or organic feed might be your go-to. I don't know. You have to try things out for yourself and see. Now, if you've got acres and acres, like we've got 12 and a half acres here, and we can just let our floofs, we got chickens, ducks, and quails, as you guys know from watching the YouTube channel, but we're talking about chickens mainly. So if you want to let your chickens like forage with some supplemental grains, I do that. And it works beautifully for me, but I can't say that about you and your flock. Only you know that, and you know what works for you. What causes a lot of problems is people tend to try to sway somebody the other way and almost shame them into doing whatever it is that they need to have happen on their homestead, their farm, or whatever it is. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be giving people options, education, and information so that people can make their own credible, informed decision without shame, guilt, or anything in between. So let me bring you to a 2020 survey. You can go look it up. It's a 2020 survey by Backyard Poultry Magazine. And what they found was 60% of small-scale chicken keepers, they mix feed types. They use commercial feed as a base. They supplement it with scraps or with foraging. To me, that's a great middle ground. You might not think so, and that's fine, because I have to do that. I have to scale things for me personally. I have to mix in the commercial feed, and I have to supplement with scraps, snackies as we call them, not really scraps, but snackies, and also free ranging or foraging. That's my middle ground and what I work on. What you have to learn to do is experiment. You've got to observe your flock, and then you have to adjust accordingly. Because I'm telling you, healthy chickens are active, they got shiny feathers, they lay consistent. You know, that's what it is. They lay consistent. If you see it and they're doing those things and they look that way and you're observing it, all I can say is, hey, congratulations, you're on the right track. You're in the same boat with everybody else. Good. Continue on. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Now, is there a right or wrong way to use feed, free-ranging, organics? I'm for sure there is. But nobody should be guilting or shaming someone for doing whatever options that they want to do. And again, you always have to remember, even if you're encouraging somebody to start their own homestead, their own farm, their own whatever, what works for one place is not going to work for another. We all live in different areas of the country. We all live in different environments, different zones. We all have different types of chickens and breeds, mixed breeds, mutts, whatever you have it, that we have and that we use and that work for us. You don't want anything to work against you. And you also don't want to get bad advice, because then that kind of turns you off really quick, because people are so busy trying to force one thing down folks' throat. It's not fair and it's not right. So if you use a combination of things, great. If you do only one thing and it works for you, great. There's really no shame in this game, and chickens have lived thousands and thousands and thousands of years, like I've told you guys before in a podcast show about the history of chickens, you know, the jungle fowl. They're going to continue on. Long after me and you're gone, somebody's going to have chickens. And all we can do is provide education, support, and help for those who need it. So I'm going to wrap this up right here on Crissy O's Clucky Chronicles. So I just want you to know that feeding your chicken babies, it's all about finding what works for you and your flock, okay? whether it's commercial, organic, free ranging, or a mix. You've got to trust yourself to make the best choice. Nobody can do it for you but you. Now, if you got any questions or tips about feeding your chickens, do me a favor and everybody else a favor. Put it in the comments below. I'd love to know what's working for you. You never know who's listening or who's watching or what could potentially help somebody else who is struggling. Because I can tell you, nobody knows all the answers. You just don't. Provide them with the information. Let them do it themselves. Don't forget, please do me a favor, fave, and like and subscribe and hit the bell for more of this chicken keeping goodness. And just know that if you go to CrissyOShow.com and you have signed up for the monthly emails, I don't spam anybody, y'all know this, and you're subscribed and you follow the YouTube channel, when we hit the 1,500 subscriber goal mark, you will get the brand new downloadable ebook, all containing recipes with eggs from chickens, ducks, and quails. And you guys will be winners. You'll get it first before it goes on the store for sale. Can't ask for anything more than that. Well, anyway, I hope you guys have a fabulous day. And I'm going to leave with that really good note and listen to Vader snore some more. And I might end up just taking a nap my own self. But anyway, y'all be good. And if you can't be good at it.